Hey everybody, it's your boy Captain Hunter coming at you again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Keep the love going. Make sure that you hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. Make sure that you hit, strike, pounce on, smash, whatever, that rate, subscribe, and share button. Let's make it do what it do over here at Captain Hunter's podcast. So, this big story going on here about Big Carlee Russell in her, kidnapping charge and, fake kidnapping and the baby and crossing the street and all this kind of craziness and foolishness that was going on. And, from a law enforcement perspective, it was really interesting because there's so many different moving parts to it. I teach a criminal justice class called human trafficking. And of course, I brought up the fact that this situation had occurred and wanted to know the students' opinions about what they thought about the Carlee Russell situation and whether they thought that she should be arrested, and what kind of prison time that she should get, and is it fair to arrest people, and all that. So really interesting. And of course, there's the legal expenses that, there's the public expenses of being arrested, the time, the resources, the energy, all that was put into finding Miss Russell. And of course, this being a huge black issue that so many black people, in particular women, but many black men as well, go missing, never reported, and have not gotten the same media attention that we have clamored for all these years. And of course, when we finally do get some type of attention, probably because there was a baby involved in the narrative, it turned out to be a complete hoax. So having said that, that's where we're at. So now we get to this young lady here who called into Dr. Oya Adawe Mott. Forgive me for butchering her name. Somebody I just kind of recently found out about it. I took a listen to her podcast. Really good stuff. Good stuff. And so this particular young lady did a call in, Zoom or whatever, and I thought she gave a really good perspective. Before I get to her perspective, once again, make sure you hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. So myself and my co-host Aisha, we had a podcast which I'd like to start up again eventually, called Messy Entanglements, and here's where it was and all that. So on Messy Entanglements, we talked about the different situations that people would get into. And so one of the things that one of the last shows that we ended up doing was a show called, as you can see from the thumbnail here, I'm kind of going off the top of my head. I might not be reading it directly, but it was essentially about, the wants and needs in relationships, right? What are the wants and needs in a relationship? What does someone want in a relationship versus what do you need in a relationship, right? So we kind of hashed that out, had a good discussion. Here, go over to that, Google it, and check it out for yourself. And so one of the things that she said that I was really floored at, my co-host said that I was really floored at, is the fact that the ladies a lot of times need excitement and change, and don't be boring, and for the man not to be boring, and you got to have a spark. You got to have the ability to get their attention, and you got to be what's the term? Spontaneous. You got to be spontaneous in dealing with things, right? You can't just have a whole humdrum day after day, same routine type of flavor and flair in your relationship. You got to brighten it up. And I just didn't understand that as being a need. I understand it's a want, it's a desire, it's a strong want. It's a strong desire, but a need, right? A need, and as I defined it, a need was something that you cannot live without. You need oxygen, you need water, you need to eat, you need to sleep, you need, these are needs, right? These are essentials. In the context of relationships, I understand that these things may not be at the level of survival needs, but there's certainly things that you cannot function without in a relationship. So that's what Messy Entanglements is all about. So here this young lady is who calls into the show, and I'm not going to play her name. I don't know her name. She says it. I'm not going to play that part of her name. I'm sure she mentions it. They go through the spiel about where she's from and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into why she thinks that Carlee Russell did this, and let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Is she spot on and all that kind of stuff, right? So here we go. Let's play it.
Our folks are down there in Durham and Whiteville, North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina, all up in that area. Yeah. Shout out to the North Kakalaki. But Queen, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts about the Carlee Russell situation? Because I did see your comment. You said when you first heard that she was missing, you said that you prayed for it. That was your first thing. And I said, wow. You was like, yeah. You was like, I prayed for it, like as soon as I heard about it. So walk me through that. Walk me through your thoughts when you first heard about it. And then tell me what your thoughts are or were after you heard about all the evidence that came out.
I mean, well, I first heard about it like before going to bed. So my thought process is like shutting myself down for meditation, burning my sage, like getting ready to speak to whatever ancestors I need to come through for me tomorrow because my day was whatever it was. And so I heard the story and I was like, dang, like first I'm a mom. Like I'm a mom. I've got an adult child that's, driving, and I'm just going there first like, oh my gosh, somebody's baby done got snatched up on the side of the road trying to help somebody else's baby that was loose on the side of the highway. And I'm thinking it's some kind of sex trafficking type of ploy to use a baby to like get somebody to react. We hear these stories of sex trafficking, and how people are lured into it. So I'm thinking that first without thinking. Like I'm just going to go with this story for right now. I'm just going to pray. I'm just going to hope that she's found. And then as I was praying, I kind of got this thing of, you haven't heard the story. You don't know what's going on. But I'm very intuitional. And my intuition automatically flipped from saying, oh, she's kidnapped. Let's make sure she's returned back safely, into just no matter what the situation is, whether she's telling the truth or not, I hope she comes back home alive. Like just period. Right? Because I don't want the sister to be dead. Like regardless.
Right. Yeah, right.
That's not my intention.
Right.
But I tried to follow the story the next day. And then the white baby thing came out because I thought the baby was black because had nobody stopped. So it's like,
man, that's so negative. that's so negative. But that's the way that sometimes we think, because we have a history of not getting the attention that other individuals got. So she was thinking along those ways as well. So really, really sad. But here we go. Let's keep playing, and we'll get to her theory in a second here.
It could have been her white baby because it's on a highway. Somebody would have said something. So it had to be a black baby because, one, nobody would have seen it because it's a darker baby. So maybe nobody saw the baby. And then if they did see a black baby, I mean, it's in Alabama. Is anybody really going to stop? So I thought, well, maybe there's something to that. But then when it was a white baby, I really started getting a little concerned about the story. I was like, ain't no white baby on no side of the road, and no pampering, ain't nobody at least called. And so 48 hours later, she's returned home. She walks home. That was concerning to me. The lack of the parents have implored everybody to pray, but then they want privacy when she's returned. That bothered me because I'm like, no, man, we all family now. You done had me praying, so I'm gonna need a statement. Okay?
Right, something. Right,
something. Yeah. And then I started telling my husband. I said, I'm getting that feeling like I got with Jesse. I don't know if this story gonna be on the.
She got the feeling that she got when Jesse was sorry. I got to break this up, make sure I'm not copyrighting anybody's information here and all that, getting any strikes. But she's getting that feeling. Things are not hitting her right. So let's continue on. I really want to talk about her theory.
Up and up or not, because that bothered me when they didn't want to give a statement, and the fact that she walked all the way home and who walks all the way home when you just broke out of being kidnapped? You would go to the nearest place you can to get help, a grocery store, a business, a gas station, a stranger. Why did she pass by all of these safe havens to go home? That didn't make sense to me either. So nonetheless, all that to say, I'm extremely disappointed, even though I figured this probably wasn't going to be an on the up story, because I know the statistics, because I have Black children. I'm constantly telling my Black children that Black children go missing all the time with no type of justice. So you got to be aware of your surroundings. I know specifically Black women, about 100,000 of us go missing a year. And if we break that down just mathematically, that might be roughly 270, 275 a day, right? And out of the 270 women a day, we had to get the one that won't telling the truth.
Come on.
What are the odds?
Come on.
270 other women are out there fighting for their lives, and we had to get the one that's telling the lie. Now,
You know, before she gets to it, so she's about to get into the heart of it right here. But that's been a big problem, right? Because she had the outpouring of sympathy from other individuals who had lost their loved ones, right? And they wanted to kind of rally together and say, you know, here's another lost loved one. You know, what is law enforcement doing? What are the community doing in order to bring our loved one home whom we never see again? So he's got all these different individuals and groups and activists and people who had lost loved ones who were still seeking for theirs. And here this woman is, you know, faking it. And that's a really, really good point that people have brought up. And really, really tragic that she would take advantage of those people and be a heartbreaking story. So let's get into her theory here.
My opinion about why she did it is not deep. I'm a Black woman. I'm a Black woman of some privilege. Grew up in a 2-parent home. Very upper middle class. I don't have no siblings. I think she does, but maybe not. She's got a fabulous boyfriend that was out here like fighting for her and trying to get, you know, all the attention on her. You know, she's a nurse. She's been to college. This story was made up because she's bored. When your life is almost so perfect that ain't nothing really going on with it, you manufacture stuff to make it exciting. And I'm like, I've been there. You know, I've been unfulfilled in my life. Now, I didn't go this far with telling lies, but sometimes I have been a little bored with my life, where I have completely started fights with my husband just for some excitement. You know,
this woman started fights with her husband just for some excitement. Just for some excitement, she started fights with her husband. And this is what I was talking about, and you know, when I alluded to the conversation that we had, a messy entanglement in which people are just bored. Man, that's a harsh thing. So I watch a lot of other podcasts, and a lot of ladies are just like, you got to entertain them. You have to, and this is not to dump on any particular group of people, but you know, entertainment is such a valuable commodity to so many people, right? You got to entertain me, take me out to lunch, take me out to dinner, take me to the movies, take me fishing, take me go-kart racing, take me mountain climbing, feed the goats, feed the pigeons, scuba snorkeling, take me to an island. All this craziness, right? And so here this woman is, and she elaborates that, you know, she's had a good life, everything is going well, there's no excitement in it, right? Good family, good home, good boyfriend, probably got a good stable, I think she had a good stable job, right? Something in the medical field or something along those lines. And it's just not enough, and you need some excitement. Not only does she believe that Carlee did that, but this woman here is admitting that she's done it. Everything is going good. Let me go ahead and get the blood juices going here and start an argument with my husband. God, tough.
No, I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, and I've had to have a discussion with him. It's like, you know, I have to apologize because I have such a privileged life. I didn't grow up in no poverty, never worried about where I was going to eat or where I was going to stay. Both my parents loved me, you know, very minimal issues, and you get bored. Like, there's nothing going on with your life. You feel like your life is a little mundane, so you manufacture a little chaos for something. Now, I don't think she thought that it would get this big, because, I mean, we are Black women. Maybe she didn't think the story would really get picked up and that it would get this serious. But unfortunately, she bet wrong, and it blew up. And now the light is on her, and she got some explaining to do. And I don't think she's going to be able to explain it.
So your position is that she was bored.
It's the social media life. Like, you look at her social media. I mean, she was out there like she's a beautiful Black woman.
Yeah.
She's traveling. She's got nice clothes. She's got her hair done. You know, her family's home is beautiful. She's got a boyfriend that's out there fighting for her. she's a nurse. I mean, she had a career. You know, she's got a career. She was even stealing from the job. Why do anyone, when you come from privilege?
I did hear that.
Remember that?
Stealing from the job. Yeah.
People who come from something that steal, it resonates with being bored. You're manufacturing a little bit of chaos in your life to live on the edge. Like, you want to, it's that adrenaline in the possibility of getting caught or the possibility of the argument. Like, you're trying to find something in your life that sparks some type of something in you because you're dead on the inside. You're bored. And it's not a mental health issue. We can't blame everything on mental health, nor do I think it is mental illness. She is problematic with the fact that she's probably bored with her life and that she feels like there isn't this chaos going on that maybe she needs to feed off of, and social media isn't doing it for her. She's got to manufacture something else. And I don't, and she's about to get into some real serious trouble for this need of wanting to have the internet search for her, have her folks out here. And I don't blame her folks. I don't think her folks were in on it.
I don't either.
Up until
so I'll leave it off right there. So we'll stop right there. But I thought that her take on it was interesting. You know, when other people are bored, you know, they go for walks and hikes and join marathons and join yacht clubs and book clubs and you know, triathlons and, you know, all kind of other stuff, right? Take a cooking class and, you know, become a vegan, stop being a vegan, go hunting. I don't know. You know, just all kind of stuff. But I just really thought that was interesting. And there has been, I've read some stuff, and I didn't, you know, pull up the research for this, but I read some stuff about this whole type of boredom thing, in which a lot of, you know, when people are bored, that they do look for things, right? And so there's this saying that we have civilized, or Kevin Timmons used to say it, that you've civilized the world to such a degree that there's nothing else to fight, right? We're not fighting lions and tigers and bears, right? There's no more essential exploration going on. This is a common trope that's occurring within male spaces, is that males feel as if they are unappreciated and unwanted, right? Where are the males anymore, right? You know, particularly in the West, right? There's not that many wars going on. You know, there's no lions and tigers and pumas that we had to fight in order to survive, right? Minimal exploration, you know. That's why, you know, people were going down in submarines and stuff, just trying to give some excitement to their lives, right? And so this is a problem with males, right? This is why, you know, the drug epidemic, opioid epidemic is increasing, because I don't feel as if their lives are going anywhere. Like, you know, dating is crazy. The job prospects are lessening as things get shipped overseas, when automation, AI taking over. All this kind of stuff, right, is creating this sense of purposelessness. And we don't know what to do with ourselves, with our time, and with our energy, right? All this pent-up energy and no place to relieve it at. And so maybe Carlee is now the victim of this type of thing as well. And this is very, very problematic. So you know, everything needs a balance, and this may or may not connect, but everything needs a balance, right? There's a documentary, I think it's on YouTube. I remember watching it before, about when they brought the wolves back to Yellowstone National Park, right? The wolves, because of hunters and trappers, etc., just went out there and just kind of decimated the wolves. They had to save the wolves. They, being, you know, the government, you know, park officials, etc., had to save the wolves. They introduced them back into the wild in Yellowstone Park, and it changed the whole landscape of everything. I mean, even the course of the rivers that were going through had changed, right? Because the animals there who didn't suffer from predation, right? They didn't have any predators, right? The bunnies, the elk, and all this other you know, creatures that are there didn't have any fear, so they're going to the bathroom all over the place, right? They're eating everything, right? Roots can't grow and all that kind of stuff. You introduce the predators back into them. They gotta change their patterns, their eating habits, right? There's less of them because now the predators are taken care of. And not only did the forest start to change, but the landscape, the structure, everything started to change because everything was back. So when things are out of harmony, this is my point. When things are out of harmony, when things are out of harmony, then this creates a disharmony, a disjointed, disunity. and this calamity comes about. And so I think that human beings are going to start to suffer that, right? We are so bored now that we're going off on these excursions, hunting animals almost to the point of extinction. And now we're creating chaos where there should not be chaos. My life is perfect. We wanted the American dream, but it's particularly for Black folks, right? We wanted this American dream. We move into middle class lifestyle, educate ourselves, and so now we get to the certain place and point, and now we're bored. At least this is her theory, and I gotta say I agree with it. This is why I'm playing it. I agree with that to a certain point. I'm not comfortable with saying that she had mental illness because that disrespects those who actually have mental illness. If anything, the mental illness was just bored. And she should have joined a gym, triathlon, do something else, right? To learn how to fix cars, or learn to play the piano or something else. Manufacturing things is just problematic. And I say this because this woman said that she did it herself. She was picking fights because she was bored. And so how many other individuals, right? Didn't Mowry, whatever her name is, leave her husband because she was bored? This is crazy. We got to do something differently. We got to think about what we're doing, where we're going, and find out different ways to entertain ourselves besides making up stories about babies crossing the street and all that. But let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Was Carlee just bored? What do you think about her philosophy? And what do you think about when we are out of harmony and not having a goal, a purpose, whether it's Yellowstone National Park or whether it's men not having purpose, whether it's women not having purpose? Does purpose drive you? Does it get you out of the bed in the morning? All that. So let me know your thoughts and your opinions.